Well, hello everyone. I am Atharva Khedkar
And I'm Rutuja Kargirwar.
and we welcome you all to the day 2 of TechConvocation 2020 by IEEECIS SBC GHRC. Day 1 was fun and we got to learn a lot of different things about different countries all across the world. And now it's time for the round 2. In round 2, all the 14 selected participants have been allotted with a different SDG. SDG stands for Sustainable Development Goals, which were declared by the United Nations in 2015 for global prosperity and advancement. For 4 minutes, participants will talk about how AI can be used to achieve that SDG.
Today, we have with us Dr. Mukta Pallewal. Ma'am is a lead data scientist at Persistent System Limited. Ma'am is a research and postdoctoral fellow from the Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay, India. She has more than 15 years of experience in the domain of machine learning and data science. I welcome you, ma'am. I also welcome Professor Achamma Thomas, Chapter Advisor, IEEECI. Without taking much time, let's start with the speeches. Now, I invite Mr. Baris Hasdemar from the Republic of Turkey to present on the topic AI for decent work and economic growth.
Is my voice clear? Can you see me?
Yes,
Is
we
everything
can,
fine?
sir.
Hello everyone. We have already met yesterday's round, but if you don't watch that session, let me introduce myself again a little bit. I am Barış from Istanbul, Turkey, and I am studying computer engineering. The primary fields that I'm interested in machine learning and deep learning. In today's session, I'm going to talk about one of the Sustainable Development Goals declared by the United Nations in 2003. It's decent work and economic growth. Firstly, I will explain the current problems with that topic, and secondly, I will share my opinions with you, and we will think what can we do with this specific topic by using artificial intelligence. Let's start with the definition of decent work. According to the International Labour Organization (ILO), decent work involves opportunities for that are productive and deliver a fair income, security in the workplace, and social protection for families, better prospects for personal development and social integration, freedom for people to express their concerns, organize and participate in the decisions that affect their lives, and equality of opportunity and treatment for all women and men. In today's world, unfortunately, we have urgent problems to solve. For example, there is a significant gap between men's and women's income. United Nations Women Watch Home's research indicated that men earn 12.5% more than women in 40 out of 45 countries. There are also lots of dangerous jobs such as mining or other dangerous industrial works. Every year, most people get injured because of these jobs. Overtime is also a big problem for most of the workers. They can't find any time to share with their families or friends. In terms of economic growth, the gross domestic product in many countries is too low compared to only a few countries. After all, today we have the power of AI. Imagine what would happen if such dangerous jobs were automated. The robots that are developed by reinforcement learning or other techniques can do most of the jobs instead of us. Some people are concerned about losing their jobs. I understand their concerns, but I think the improvements in technology will generate new occupations as well. For example, we will still need some people to monitor the results or maintain their assets. Furthermore, we have great computational power. If we can use our machine learning algorithms predictions to put effort into most prospective fields, the economy also can grow faster than before. Nowadays, AI-based systems are used in agricultural fields, such as prediction of crops, weather conditions, etc., and they are used in industry to detect anomalies in the products to prevent unexpected consequences. We need to universalize those applications. AI models can help us in resource management a lot, so that we can go over the waste of resources. Moreover, today's AI world is struggling with the bias of our data created by humanity, especially, for example, natural language processing. Gender or ethnicity bias has been carrying on to be a crucial issue. If we can manage to develop our unbiased models, they can organize our job recruitment, interviews, processes, or giving loans without any gender or ethnicity bias. It seems that my time is running out, and consequently, as you have just seen, artificial intelligence can be helpful for our future. If we intended to make a better world, we should support investing in AI. We should be aware of how important AI is. Thank you for listening to me. Have a nice day. Take care of yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Barris.
So next up, I invite Mr. Edinyanga Ohoto from the Federal Republic of Nigeria to present on the topic AI for affordable and clean energy. Hello, Mr. Ohoto. Otoho, sorry.
Okay, so today I'll be talking about SDG 7, which is the one which has the goal to ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy to all. Well, we all know that the emergence of AI and its progressively wide impact on many sectors requires an assessment on its effects on the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. Now, using a consensus-based expert elicitation process, we find that AI can enable the accomplishment of 134 targets across all the goals, but it may also inhibit 59 targets. And now I have some statistics which sound quite okay. It is discovered that 1 out of 7 people still lack electricity, and most of them live in rural areas. And then that energy is the main contributor to climate change, and it produces about 60% of greenhouse gases. More efficient energy standards could reduce building and industry electrical consumption by 14%. Now, it's also known that more than 40% of the world's population, that's about 63 billion people, rely on polluting and unhealthy fuels for cooking. As of 2015, more than 20% of power was generated through renewable sources. Then the renewable energy sector employed a record of about 10.3 million people in 2017. Now, these are the various problems I think AI could solve in the SDG 7. Now, AI can optimize not just power consumption, but also production. We all know that in turbine inspection and maintenance, it involves some personnel flying around with the helicopters to the turbines in order to perform some maintenance. Now, some neural models could be trained using some data on voltage, temperature, wind speed, humidity, and others, and can be deployed in real time. And now, when the data is available, predictions could also become more accurate. Then smart devices also been have been made quite available to a good number of people. So we could also use them to inform end users on their energy usage rates and predict the outcomes as well. Then considering maintenance and repairs, the United Kingdom's national grid has turned to drones to monitor wires and pylons that transmit electricity from power stations to homes and businesses. Now, these AIs are equipped with high resolution still and infrared camera when detecting faults. And they are also able to cover vast geographical areas and some terrains which are difficult to access by people. Now, we can also talk about anti-fraud and anti-theft. So many people try to tweak the usage of meters, which is what most locales around the world use to regulate power consumption. So I think that AI can also help to monitor these profiles and let us know which person is actually using the prepaid meters and being able to also control them and monitor them. By harnessing AI, we could also advertise and orient people on the usage of data electricity, and make them able to dive into using cleaner sources of energy such as solar, hydro energy, and bioenergy. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Otoho.
Now, I invite Mr. George Savakis from the Republic of Greece to present on the topic AI for industry, innovation and infrastructure.
Hello, can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. I'm gonna start by saying that we need a lot of factory artificial intelligence solutions, and we can use like high volumes of data generated by the factories itself to identify trends and patterns that can be used to make manufacturing processes more efficient, and we can reduce their energy consumption. It will help factories become also more eco-friendly. In the next years, a lot of autonomous vehicles will be on the road, and we have the potential to save time, limit energy consumption, and dramatically reduce the deaths that are attributed to road traffic accidents each year. Vehicles that run with AI-powered software can eliminate the human error and save millions of lives in the meantime. The sensors and cameras on the car feed the system every day with more data, so day by day the systems are better and better. Artificial intelligence can help also bioscience a lot and take it to the next level by empowering researchers to conduct experiments more efficiently and help them find patterns they never knew existed. Nowadays, scientists have a better chance of making breakthrough discoveries because of the use of artificial intelligence. There are a lot of digital marketing companies that use artificial intelligence algorithms that with every single online ad, the brand can really see more clearly the, the targets that their customers want to have. AI can help brands run more effective mobile video advertising campaigns and give the company tools to analyze their users' data more clearly. We also have some customer services like companies that have a lot of huge and large quantities of online data that with the help of AI then can help uncover data insights that allows them to manage their resources more efficiently and better serve their customers. Artificial intelligence help automate portions of the customer service as well. A huge process is being done by using neural networks to predict useful answers to customers' queries and create more relevant, frequently asked questions. We have a lot of cyber threat securities as well. Like every day, a lot of cyber securities are happening all around the globe. So everyone knows how sensitive user data is. So with the artificial intelligence, it gives us a lot of hope that in the future we can potentially verify the threats before they do a lot of damage, and we can study the patterns of everything that goes around the systems, the networks, and also the devices, so we can like answer better the next time. We have also a lot of AI capability in the smart storage management. We are capable of learning a lot of input and output patterns and data life cycles, thereby optimizing storage management intelligently. It can also alert users it can also alert users to any anomalies that may happen, so they are more secure with their data. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Mr. George. So now we have with us Mr. Bright Serenier from the Republic of Ghana presenting to you on the topic AI for climate action.
All right, good afternoon to us all. And sorry for the inconveniences earlier on. All right, so today I'll be taking you on how AI can be used on climate action. Right. So we start by talking about the agric sector. Now, agric alone constitutes 90% of logging in the tropical forest is illegal. That's what UN says, right? So we all know the associated effects we get from logging. When we cut down our trees, we will not have the trees to absorb the carbon we emit. And that will mean temperatures will be getting high, our ices will melt, sea levels will go high, and all those things, right? So it means we have to take good care of our forests, right? So now there's a project, in fact, a real world project on board where a robot, we call it the Rainforest Connection Project, right? So this project has started piloting in 10 countries and on 5 continents, right? So what it does is that all mobile phones are connected to trees in the forest, right? And then their purpose is to detect changes in sound. So if loggers are doing their operations, definitely their machines will make noise and the notification will be sent to local officials to take action, right? So you see, so the phones they report the actions in the bush to the officials and they take actions that will help conserve our forest, right? So that's one aspect of it in the logging and the forest sector. And when we talk about agric is also a major factor, right? So agric is responsible for 17% of greenhouse emissions. Agric alone constitutes 17% of greenhouse emissions. Now, we also have another real world project where a robot on wheels has a camera, right? So it's a robot on wheels with a camera in the farm, your farmland. And what it does is that it scans letters and it outputs and estimates about the current crop yield and the plant diseases. So it will scan your plants and give you the feedback of your crop yield and the diseases so that you can take further actions. It reduces, so it can also determine where to apply fertilizer specifically, right? So now the fertilizer has a chemical, it emits nitrous oxide, and nitrous oxide is about 300 times more dangerous than the carbon emissions we have. So that means that chemical there is more dangerous than the carbon we even talk about mostly. So it reduces the application of chemicals on our farmlands by detecting where exactly and on which plant you need to apply your fertilizer and your chemicals to. So by doing so, you don't need to apply fertilizer on everything. You only need to apply to what is needed, where it is needed. And by that, we are reducing the amount of chemicals we have in our environment. So we are keeping our climate at least a bit conserved, right? We also talk about carbon emissions. Carbon emissions, which is the key factor when we are talking about climate action. Now, this project is piloted by Hypergiant Technologies, right? And what it does is that algae, they produce algae in the lab, and then algae is responsible for 2/3 of the oxygen in the atmosphere. So what they do is that they genetically produce algae in huge masses for it to be able to absorb the carbons which we emit as human beings by our industries and all other processes. So they produce this algae and then by machine learning and then AI
Mr. Bright, time is up. Please
technologies
wind up fast.
for it to absorb the.
Okay, so thank you so much, Mr. Bright. It was really informative.
Now, I invite Mr. Mohammad Saqib Khan Inan from the People's Republic of Bangladesh to present on the topic AI for No Poverty.
Hello everyone, I'm Mohammad Saqib Khan Inan from Bangladesh. I'm a third year undergraduate student and a Microsoft Learn student ambassador. We all know that the number one goal of United Nations Development Program is no poverty. It proves that eradicating poverty remains one of the greatest challenges that mankind is facing. Thankfully, the number of people living below the poverty line is dropped by more than half between 1990 and 2015. It is a matter of sorrow that still too many people are struggling to meet their basic human needs. In today's date, 10% of the world's population are living under the poverty line. 1.3 billion people live in multidimensional poverty, and 50% of all people living under the poverty are by under age 18. 80% of people living on less than $1.90 in South Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa. So United Nations has set up the SDG to reduce poverty, the numbers, at least half of the portion of men, women, and children of all ages living in the poverty by 2030. By reducing poverty doesn't mean giving luxurious lives to all, but to ensure that at least they meet their basic human needs properly. Artificial intelligence is like a magic lamp that is touching people's life with its limitless possibilities and making things true which were once unimaginable. Using artificial intelligence, we can combine high resolution satellite imagery with powerful machine learning algorithms and predict how rich or poor specific locations of the world are. We can identify the patterns. AI can help us to generate the poverty map, which will give us a clear idea where in the world poverty occurs and in which shape, so that we can know where and how to deal it. Poverty is created by a combination of lack of income, education, and assistance. We use robotics, artificial intelligence to improve certain sustainability of main food crops in developing countries, for improving farming, soil cultivation for growing crops, and rearing animals to provide food, wood, and other products. AI-based model can help us to identify best ways to grow crops. AI can help increase education levels in poor areas through adapted learning. It can help identify students' learning necessities and optimize the process through different methods of learning. AI can ensure the education and medication for all, which will help us to fight with the poverty. People of underdeveloped areas will be able to get the best education and medication with the help of AI based technologies, irrespective of where they live, what is their geographical location. AI can help us to distribute the different basic resources among people in a proper way so that everyone gets the access to their basic needs properly. The distribution of resources can be biased if it is completely controlled by human. One of the major fear which runs after us that AI will take away our jobs, but I think this is not the correct way to look at the picture. AI will create new jobs, new infinite possibilities. Yes, the traditional jobs will be eliminated, but the new type of jobs will be created with more possibilities. AI can create jobs for people living any corner of the world. It can demolish the idea of geographical barrier and the physical inabilities by creating multidimensional jobs. Use of AI will improve our living standards and solve socio-economic problems, resulting the eradication of poverty by achieving the SDG. So thank you everyone for listening to me. That was my presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Mohammed.
So now I invite Mr. Raja Ahmed from Islamic Republic of Pakistan to present on the topic AI for reducing inequalities.
Aditya, will you please confirm that am I audible and also am I visible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Uh,
And
okay, let's start. Visible as well. I'm
Yes, sir, you're
present.
audible.
Okay. Hey folks, I'm Raja Ahmed, beta analyst and a DSC at my campus. Today we have been given a tremendous topic of Tech Talk. We have assigned the SDGs, which are the Sustainable Development Goals issued by United Nations. The SDG being assigned to me is reduced inequalities, which is the SDG number 10, issued in 2015, which aims at reducing inequality within and among the countries, which means within means the fact that our communities and our societies in our country as well as around the globe. Taking it to the next level, reduced inequalities targets some of the basic differences in our societies, which include income and economics, age, sex, disability, ethnicity and origin, as well as religion and social statuses. Here I must say, sustainable development goal of reduced inequalities is the most universal one and has a linkage to almost all SDGs. So it's a very unique and almost a very universal topic as well. As we are here in a virtual meeting, the COVID is making inequality conditions the worst, hitting most vulnerable the hardest. So making a room for equality has been leveraged after the COVID. So talking about some of the hindrances which are going to be faced or which we have to cope up in regard to equalize the society and community. First of all, we have measuring inequality. Our countries don't have such resources to cope up, and they don't have resources to produce such inequality factors upon which they can evaluate their community on the basis that how one is equal and the other is lacking that facility. Then we have inequality and environment. Inequality and environment has issues associated with health, population, environmental justices are often inseparable with inequality. Sometimes these issues are also associated with indigenous and aboriginal communities. The next one is inequality and globalization. Globalization also accompanied with migration, displacement, and disposition. This often increased vulnerability of marginalized communities of the globe. If efforts are still needed to improve the policy measures for orderly, safe, regular, and responsible migration and mobility of the refugees. Then we have the last hindrance or obstacle we have is inequality and mental health. You folks really observe that in our societies as well, that these differences create some psych problems and as well as some mental damage to the mental health, because in the form of such as status, anxiety, competition, social embeddedness and cohesion, etc. So these are some of the hindrances which we have to cope up in regard to this SDG. Talking about artificial intelligence, AI acts as an accelerator for these SDGs. And for specifically reducing the inequalities, AI plays a pivotal role. Taking it to the next level, let's discuss some real world cases upon which AI is working and AI is transforming our lives. First of all, we have generation AI.
Okay, Mr. Raja, I'm afraid that time is up. So I'm going to have to stop you now. But thank you so much.
Okay.
Now, I invite Mr. Sambhav Brutel from the Federal Democratic Republic of Nepal to present on the topic AI for Sustainable Cities and Communities.
Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah, and also visible, right?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. I'll start now. Hello and namaste to everyone. It's me Sambhav from Tribhuvan University, Nepal, once again speaking in front of you all. For today, my topic is how AI can be used to achieve UN Sustainable Development Goal number 11 in the world, which is sustainable cities and communities. Let's first delve into the goal itself. The goal is set in such a way where the cities should be first inclusive, with proper transport, energy, healthcare, etc., safe and resilient, where cities should be prepared for economic crisis, health epidemics, climate change, etc., and environmentally sustainable, which requires ensuring environmental footprint of the cities do not exceed planetary limits. Half of humanity lives in cities today. That is roughly 3% of land with 70% energy consumption and a staggering 75% carbon emissions of the whole world. According to the estimates, 5 billion people are expected to live in cities by 2030, which is a huge number, and the cities should halve their carbon footprints by 2030 to halt climate breakdown. Now let's talk about how AI can help us achieve these goals. Firstly, with infrastructure management, buildings are responsible for more than 25% of energy-related greenhouse gas emissions. In developing economies, rapid urbanization is creating pressure on all the resources exceeding the planetary limits. Here we can harness the power of AI to analyze and provide better estimates for planning cities, taking both generic and specific parameters like geography, climate, etc. into consideration. Additionally, land management can be done effectively to segregate quality green and open spaces for all in the city. Now, moving towards transportation, in public transport, AI can be used to analyze and predict demands, due to which cities can achieve efficiency and low carbon footprint. Also, live data like traffic signals and satellite images can be utilized by AI to provide real-time best routes to the buses. If tested and proven, autonomous vehicles powered by AI have the potential to decrease road accidents significantly, while at the same time being able to increase efficiency in traffic management. Moving towards food management, food is the biggest need for every human being, but sadly, it is also one of the biggest contributors to climate change. Especially in cities, more than 25% of food is wasted, and much of it is due to farmers not being able to predict the demand. AI can have a powerful impact here by helping farmers estimate production and achieve the goals by data-driven farming. Glancing into food waste, organic and inorganic wastes, and recyclables created in the cities, AI can be used in proper management of them. This way, circular economy can be introduced in cities, bringing more jobs to the people. Now, delving towards energy management, energy is a basic need for humanity, and again, it is one of the key causes inhibiting sustainability. Using AI, smart grids can be enabled, which matches the electrical demand partially when renewable resources yield more output, like when the sun is shining or the wind is blowing. Additionally, AI can also be used to make forecasts to increase or decrease energy production in non-renewable energy plants to reduce energy wastage and create a healthier environment for all. Lastly, let's talk about IoT. Everything in a city, electricity, roads, sewer pipes, buildings, vehicles can be connected to a network. Using the data collected from these sensors and IoT devices, making analyses using AI can aid in management of many different aspects of the city, which can all be done easily in one system. Also, resources and assets can be managed and visualized efficiently. Moreover, with AI, we can encompass a range of interconnected technologies like electrical autonomous vehicles and smart applications that can enable demand response in the electricity and power sector. Due to time constraints, these were the my few opinions on how SDG 11 can be achieved with AI. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Mr. Sambhav.
Coming up next, we have Mr. Ubio Obu from the Federal Republic of Nigeria presenting to you on the topic AI for Peace, Justice, and Strong Institutions.
All right, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
All right, I'm starting. I don't know about you, but I would love to wake up one day, turn on the news, and hear that there is peace on earth. As of 2018, the number of people that were fleeing war and persecution and conflict exceeded 70 million, according to the United Nations. Corruption, bribery, theft, and tax evasion cost about 1.26 trillion from developing countries. And also, according to the United Nations, 1 in 4 children under the age of 5 have no record of their birth registrations. This moves us to the importance of this SDG 16 goal, peace, justice, and strong institution, because it is a goal that is intertwined with governance and society and has a lot to do with the importance and the relevance of nearly other goals. So currently, SDG 16, which is peace, justice, and strong institution, has one vital problem, and that is the fact that it needs indicators and data to be able to track. The United Nations is doing a lot in this particular sector, but the indicators are not very valid, and this is where the problem really lies and where artificial intelligence is very important. Let me give us a little background so that my solution can be very well understood. One is the fact that, for example, to be able to understand the peace, justice, and strong institutions in most of these places, for example, United Nations depends on the fact that a nation has human rights institution. The question now is, human rights institution, is that enough to say that a country has peace, justice, and strong institutions? Also, another indicator that the United Nations use is the number of verified killings and kidnappings of journalists and other people, human rights activists in those countries. The question now is, are these indicators enough, bearing the fact that governments will definitely try to suppress this fact? This moves us to how artificial intelligence can come in, because without getting the right indicators and the right data, United Nations cannot know what to do, know who to sanction, and how to bring global peace at once. First, artificial intelligence can help in impact measurement. Textual data from newswire, social media can supplement the indices that are being produced by this government. So it helps to supplement, so we can do sentimental analysis on the social media of these places, and definitely it will supplement the information that we are gathering from these places. And then also, using this multimodal data input will increase the accuracy of the data received. And then it will also help us to transfer the learning from one particular domain to another domain. Secondly, it also helps us to do what I call preemptive action. For example, greater use of machine learning can help us to better improve the precisions and to be able to measure peace and justice and strong institutions globally. Combined with the use of predictive models, we can help identify places, regions, etc., that are having a downward slide in terms of these metrics, and then we can prevent issues before they can happen. So, understanding what is happening, we can preempt the next place, the next region where there is definitely going to be injustice or war or something, and then we can easily prevent it. That is what artificial intelligence can do. The third most important thing is that it can help us with understanding the causative factors. The use of multi-layer network models can be used to understand causal interactions, and we can better understand what are the things that are causing problems in one society to the other. Let me end by telling us that peace, justice, and strong institutions are not just one of human needs, they are fundamental upon which human existence is hung on.
Okay,
Proper
Mr.
understanding of it through artificial intelligence is important for us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Ubio.
Now, I invite Ms. Daniela Galindo from the Republic of Peru to present on the topic AI for clean water and sanitization.
Well, good afternoon, dear jurors, organizers, participants, and attendants of this incredible session. I am Daniela Galindo, and I am very proudly represent my country, Peru. Today, I will be speaking about a situation of how AI can be applied to Objective 6 of Sustainable Development, Clean Water and Solution, and Sanitization. What is happening these days? Access to safe water and basic sanitation is vital for health, especially among children. Concern for the availability of safe water for all is at the center of SDG 6. Sanitation and hygiene are key issues, as the lack of this can lead to soil contamination and contamination of water bodies. What is the role of the AI? Using AI to detect dangerous bacteria and harmful particulates in water is the goal of Clean Water AI. Moved by the stranger data that approximately 2 billion people currently use drinking water source contaminated with feces. This prototype device used partner recognition and machine learning to monitor and inspect water quality. Clean Water AI can run continuously in real time, and the analysis is done with a digital microscope connected to a laptop running to the operation system called Ubuntu. The app also made contaminated sites on a map for regions of the world where access to safe water is a permanent problem. Simple test system like this could dramatically help prevent disease and save thousands of lives. Well, artificial intelligence and machine learning can be used for more effective water treatment process, as well as to detect problems and ensure early allocation of effort. This is a case for Imagine, which use AI to obtain more accurate and timely information to save money and water. Its software can provide accurate and timely information of the type of contaminants in the water and make some recommendations for their treatment. Imagine software can also enable facility operators to more effectively clean incoming wastewater and management the system to prevent overflow. In the reign of AI, EBM points out that there will be robust microscopes with artificial intelligence that can save the ocean of pollution. These EBM scientists are working on a system that uses plankton. This is a natural biological sensor for aquaculture health. EBM AI microscopes can be hosted in bodies of water to analyze the movement of the plankton in 3D international habitat and use this information to predict the state and behavior of the water. This could help in case of oil spills or relays from other sources of pollution, as well as predict threats such as red tides. Well, in my opinion, the opportunities that artificial intelligence presents for the water sector are vast, from the protection of water sources to the optimization of advanced wastewater treatment systems. While this technology will not solve water problems at all, it can help us more rapidly to innovative solutions, this contributing to the achievement of Sustainable Development Goal 6 for clean water and sanitation. Let's remember this. As long as we have healthy oceans and water, our planet will be healthy. I am Daniela Galindo, and thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Ms. Daniela.
So now I invite Ms. Hajer Benmizian from Democratic Republic of Algeria to present on the topic AI for good health and well-being.
Hi, everybody. For this second round, I was asked to talk about AI in healthcare and well-being. So first of all, we're really in an unprecedented moment in healthcare, not just because of COVID-19, but also because of the amount of data that is available now, either with FHIR or genomic or medical imaging data sets with newly uploaded images each week in Radiopedia, for example. So the number of tasks that we can solve with AI is really huge. I tried to classify the type of applications in 3 classes. The first class is medical diagnosis, and I couldn't not talk about COVID diagnosis. So using CT and X-ray images, COVID-NAT, a quite interesting paper under the title Differentiate Pneumonia from COVID-19, demonstrate good results despite using few data and using the model ResNet 50. Another example is diabetes retinopathy, where ophthalmologists detect its state with tiny little black dots in the image of the eye. So DeepMind uses deep learning to create a system that can automatically detect these little black dots at an early stage. Another example also is breast cancer. A lot of work has been done to detect breast cancer at an early stage. Deep learning is used in 2 steps. First, to detect the tumor, and next, to detect its stage. So either it is malignant or benign. The second type is hospital and clinics management. So I talked yesterday about Murcia General Hospital in Spain that is using AI to predict the capacity of the hospital and make more accurate hospital management. Another applications is the number of chatbots that aim to reduce the healthcare cost and performance time diagnosis, such as One Remission, Babylon Healthcare, and Uper. Okay, the third type of application is to enhance the quality of healthcare workers. So I couldn't not talk also about the Da Vinci robots that reduce the invasive surgeries by detecting the right spot and apply small incisions. So overall, I have two major concerns in medical diagnosis. So the first one is how to label the data. Uh, Even when we talk about with two doctors, they give two different follow-up. One way to do it is published in a recent paper and calculate the uncertainty score of each patient. This way, we can know how many doctors we need to consult for each patient, for example. Another concern is about data security. So usually patients don't want to be tracked and don't want their data to be sent to any server. So one way to do it is a whole new field in AI, which is privacy in AI. That applies, for example, federated learning by sending the model to the data rather than sending the data to the model. Okay. So when I heard healthcare and well-being, I looked for the word well-being and what it means. And a lot of definitions turn around happiness and satisfaction. And they focus more on mental health. And guess what? Artificial intelligence is also used to fight depression and anxiety. The CEO of Emerge, a new startup in a transformative technology conference, analyzes the different applications from chatbots to monitoring applications that try to predict changing pattern using phone activity, the application the user used, and the estimated hours of sleep. So I tried to sum up all the main applications of AI in healthcare in 4 minutes, and that's it. So thank you.
Okay, wow. Thank you, Miss Hajer.
Next, I invite Ms. Prakriti Sharma from the Republic of India to present on the topic AI for Quality Education.
Am I visible? Am I audible? Hello. Guys. Okay, can I go ahead? Okay, I'm starting. Namaste, I am Prakriti Sharma representing the Republic of India. The SDG that I will be talking about today is quality education. Before I get into the topic, I want you to know that I am not talking about replacement of humans with AI. Instead, I'm talking about the integration of AI and teachers together to provide a better educational environment. I also believe that AI is the future. AI is going to be in every walk of life. So the more accustomed we get to it, the better it is for us. Now, coming to the implementations, starting with ground zero, I believe that AI should be used for streamlined admin tasks of teachers. Like teachers spend in a lot of time in grading homeworks and tests. AI could do this real quick. AI could also come up with assessment reports marking the questions that were marked wrong by a majority of the students. So this will help bridge up the gap between the teachers and the students. The next implementation is personalized learning. Say there's a class of 70 students. No matter how good the teacher is, not all 70 students in the class will be able to learn the topic in one go. On the other hand, AI can be really personalized. It can go at your pace, it can learn from your behaviors, from your choices, from your outcomes. And if AI is allowed to choose the curriculum, it could also suggest your courses to build on top of what you've already learned or to learn things that were weak or spots for you as analyzed from the previous courses. The next point is accuracy. So we all know that most technological devices have a greater accuracy than an average human being. Since education involves training the future minds of the world, I believe accuracy is of utmost importance. The next point is accessibility of content everywhere. So say we have an educational video. If we put it on something which has AI implementation, the same video can be used by citizens of Egypt and students in Russia. So this would be possible thanks to natural language processing of AI. This same educational video could also be used by the visually and hearing impaired people. So there is this AI application called Presentation Translator. So it is a PowerPoint plugin which gives dynamic subtitles for the what the teacher is saying when the presentation is on. So the next implementation and benefit of AI in education would be education at all times. So no matter what the time zone is, you would be able to access the content at all times. Say there are a fraction of students who have delays and who have to skip semesters because of some unexpected situation like health crisis maybe. So all those students will also be able to catch up because the education content is already there. And it would also help in after school revision. The next implementation is enhancements. So thanks to AI, all this educational content can be represented in VR and by gamification. So there will be visual content, and visual content helps you learn better than the written content. So personally, I have a trouble in remembering the historical events, and I think if this application was there, then I would have remembered it better. And then the next benefit would come from voice assistants and smart content. So we all know about voice assistants. Google, Siri, Alexa, whatever we want to learn, we voice it out to them and they read an article to us and we're all good to go. This has made learning so much more easy. Smart content, on the other hand, is an AI application where a textbook is divided into chapters, chapters into subchapters. All of these have a summary report and they have quizzes. So this will make learning really comfortable. And the last implementation and benefit of this entire thing would be AI tutors. So along with all these implementations, there could be a application or methodology that could monitor our progress, our outcomes, our inputs. So this could tell us, this could let us analyze which parts we could be better in, what could we do to improve our outputs, and it would also help us have motivation in general. So I would like to conclude by saying that I hope all this AI implementation helps bridge up the gap between learning and teaching. And so this will allow the teachers in schools to do so much more than we are today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Prakriti.
So now we have Ms. Rubaith A. Ulfat from People's Republic of Bangladesh to present on the topic AI for Zero Hunger.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Hello everyone. This is Rubaiyat Ulfat from People Republic of Bangladesh. We all know that worldwide hunger is still one of the most alarming issue for a long time, and this issue is taking a bad impact on several other sectors, which is thus creating a barrier for development of human civilization. And according to the survey of United Nations, approximately 821 million people all over the globe were undernourished in 2017, and 63% of them are from Asia. So unfortunately, more than 1 in 8 adults is obese, and 1 in 3 women of reproductive age is anemic. So among this number, 26% of workers employed in agriculture. So the number clearly shows there is a huge discrimination in case of distribution of food among people of different age, gender, ethnic culture, etc. And it's amazing that United Nations does taking into account the matter, because the hunger issue can be destructive for us. So setting up the SDG with an aim to end all forms of hunger and malnutrition by 2030, making sure children have sufficient food. And I think artificial intelligence, with its vast application and outstanding dimension, can certainly be used to solve this global issue. So using AI, we would be able to predict upcoming food shortage or crisis to defend scarcity. So AI can tell us how to distribute the food resources among people of several areas or ages by ensuring the right of getting access to necessary amount of food resources for living. So AI can be used to achieve food security, to improve food quality also. So it can be used widely to improve the agriculture all over the globe, which will certainly allow us to produce more food in an effective and less costly way. So I think a sustainable agriculture system is a must for us to eradicate hunger and achieve the SDG. So these technologies can be used to improve plant breeding or increase growth of crops, achieve proper food distribution system, drink productions, and also biofuels. So artificial intelligence can create best way to reduce the wastage of food by implementing effective food storage system. So less human involvements on a direct manner in this process will ensure the dubiousness. So already the implementation of AI on eradicating hunger has been started and showing much positive results. So from my analysis, I believe the proper use of AI is going to be the key factor of to achieve the SDG of zero hunger. So I think I am able to explain all my points in this short span of time. Thank you all for listening to me. Take care and stay safe.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Rubaid.
Next, I invite Ms. Shalini Pukella from the Sultanate of Oman to present on the topic AI for Gender Equality.
Am I audible?
Yes,
Thank
ma'am, you're audible.
Breaking.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shalini. At first, I would like to congratulate all the team members of the Tech Convocation and would further like to thank every individual for giving me this opportunity to share a few thoughts on one of the globally striking topics known as gender equality, which is also one of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals to transform our world into heaven-like place never before. Gender equality is more than a goal itself. It is a prerequisite for meeting the challenges of reducing poverty, promoting sustainable development, and building good governance. It is a key to ensure no one is left behind and is essential to the success of every other sustainable development goals. Today, I would like to take this opportunity to share my opinion on how artificial intelligence technologies can play a central role in achieving gender equality and future promises. So let's dive deep into it. AI has the power to collect, recognize, and interpret patterns. In recent times, there were a few apps developed with AI and machine learning capabilities all over the world concerning women's safety as a predominant issue. One such app was developed in India known as Savdan, which turned down nerve-wracking anxiety of women traveling alone. A 32-year-old Asif Sultan launched it after extensive research in the year 2018. The app avails its facilities on by triggering the volume button for 5 seconds. It reports the guardians with updated location, surrounding voices, and new photographs for every 5 minutes. In case of a lack of network, it alerts users through SMS. It stops to send the information if the deactivate button is clicked on. FemTech is one of the apps developed for women's healthcare. There are many other apps developed based on AI concerning the education of females to further mitigate child marriage and prevent domestic abuse and violence. One of them is Rainbow, the digital companion who offers a non-judgmental, unbiased, and detect early signs of abuse in South Africa in 2018, where domestic violence affects every 1 in 3 women. Software called Traffic Jam, an AI tool, is using online data to fight human trafficking. It is also worth mentioning that UN is now working together with World Identity Network, WIN, to develop a blockchain pilot aimed to help curb child trafficking. Even though some forms of discrimination against females are diminishing with the help of AI, at the same time, there were a few instances recorded as being AI being gender-based. For instance, face analysis AI programs display gender and racial bias, and a few social media platforms are male-dominated as algorithm pushed for male applicants. Thus, it is evident that AI is being misused to a great extent by the developers on training the models, as 78% of AI professionals are male. To conclude, we could achieve gender equality in no time by implementing stricter protocols for selecting data, validation and testing scenarios by AI or ML researchers and developers, as suggested by Professor Kate, the research co-founder of Microsoft. Thank you, one and all. Have a great day.
Thank you, Ms. Shalini.
Thank you.
So now moving on to our final contestant, Ms. Trina Chakrabarti from the Republic of India, presenting to you the topic AI for responsible consumption and production.
Hello to the members of jury, organizers, and fellow participants. I want all of you to question yourself. Are you a good consumer? When you go for buying something, do you think about the planet and the future generations? Or if you really need to buy that thing? Honestly, most of us do not favor the most sustainable options while purchasing goods and services. Our needs for goods have been increasing, but our natural resources capacity remains limited. And this is exactly why I'm here today to tell you how we can use artificial intelligence to evolve ourselves as responsible consumers and producers. First, I'll begin with responsible production. How can large companies adopt sustainable practices using artificial intelligence? One of the way is to use data collection, which is easily available to us nowadays due to digitalization, and harness the information that arises during the production process using AI algorithms. This can help us in making better decisions on how to increase capacity of machines and improve energy consumption. This can also help to reduce the emission of harmful gases into the atmosphere. Artificial intelligence can also solve the problems related to supply chain management. Shipping goods and materials that people don't use, of course, causes a lot of harm to business, but it causes a significant amount of harm to the environment. Intelligent system that can gather large amount of data from various data sources and use it to make reliable forecasts to predictive analytics will be a great benefit. They help companies to produce limited number of goods and ship only what consumers will require. So this is something which humans can never achieve with accuracy. Now, coming to sustainable consumption, it actually means responding to your basic needs with minimal impact on environment. Let's take, for example, a device that we all use in our homes, washing machines. Our senses are not too strong to detect defects immediately. Imagine if artificial intelligence is used in it, it can notify users when a problem occurs, and we can immediately get it fixed or get it replaced before it gets worse. So this can increase the lifespan of the appliance. Water consumption is another alarming issue. AI-enabled water management system can instantly alert facility managers about the anomalies and other malfunctions in plumbing. So we can fix that using it. We can also use AI to increase transparency in marketing. While shopping, it can inform consumers, for example, like from where the product has been originated and what materials have been used in it, if they're eco-friendly or not. And like I said in the beginning of my speech, we have to be responsible consumers and decide what we need to buy and what not. So the life cycle of a product starts with extraction of resources and ends with waste. Waste management and recycling is one of the biggest existing challenges of the present. We can combine AI with robotics to categorize and subcategorize waste. Computer vision, neural network, and other domains of AI can enable a more intelligent, flexible approach to recycling. We can also have smart dustbins with AI installed in them, which can calculate waste bill of food waste by identifying waste using image processing and combining it with their weight and volume. And then customers can decide how to reduce. Consumers can decide how to reduce food wastage. And most importantly, I feel machines will continue to learn over time and will prove out to be more efficient than humans. So I think by the end of this speech, you all can also see the hopeful and sustainable futures that waits for us if humans and AI can work together as a team. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Ms. Trina.
It was intriguing how everyone spoke and gave innovative solutions based on artificial intelligence to fulfill the goals set by the United Nations. Now, I request our chief guest for today, Dr. Mukta Palewal, to present her feedback and views on the Day 2 of TechConvocation 2020.
Thank you all. I'm I'm going to congratulate, first of all, to all the participants for taking the efforts to create this awareness about the goals that the UN has set up for sustainable development and associating its usage or its development with the advancement of the techniques that are available in AI. I'm very thankful that I had got this opportunity to listen to all of you. It was a wonderful session, very well managed, valued time of everyone, and everyone has abided by the timetable given to them. I would just like to wish you very best luck for your all future endeavors. Let's wait for the results that are to be out. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, I request Mr. Vedant Bahel, Chapter Chair of IEEE CIS SBC, to declare the results and give instructions for day 3 of the event.
Thank you, Rituja. Good evening, everyone, all the delegates, chief guest for today, Dr. Mukta Paliwal, chapter advisor, Professor Achama Thomas, and all the team members of IEEE CIS. This was very amazing event this particular day because I got to learn about lots of things related to United Nations and the Sustainable Goal. And I'm really glad to see that we already have young minds from different countries across the world who are already aware about the problems in the society and already have the solutions for the same. Well, the results are difficult as the competition moves further, so is the evaluation. And here I am with the results. So the participants who are selected for round 3 of the event are Mr. Bright from Republic of Ghana, Mr. Erianga from Federal Republic of Nigeria, Mr. Mohammed Saqib from People's Republic of Bangladesh, Mr. Samba Bertel from Federal Democratic Republic of Nepal, Ms. Daniela Galindo from Republic of Peru, Ms. Hajar Benmezian from People's Democratic Republic of Algeria, Ms. Prakriti Sharma from Republic of India, Ms. Rubiet A. Ulfat from People's Republic of Bangladesh, Ms. Shalini Pukela from Sultanate of Oman, and Ms. Trina Chakrabarti from Republic of India. Congratulations to all of you. Congratulations to participants as well, other participants as well. You have participated in this event, and so appreciation certificates and 2 months data camp free subscription for learning more about data science and machine learning will be sent to your inbox. In day 3 tomorrow at 6 p.m., we will be talking about, we'll be having a group discussion on the future of AI. All the 10 participants selected will be in a general assembly, which will be moderated by a moderator from our team. And then we'll turn up with the 3 best speakers in the final round after the end of the day. Tomorrow we'll start at 6 p.m. exact. Dr. Mukta Paliwal will be again with us for as a chief guest and for judge for the tomorrow's event. Thank you, ma'am, for joining in. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. Have a great day. Thank you.